Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Motorcycle Rescuer and this is Motorcycle Rescuer. Okay, so this is where I am with the er5. It sparks on both cylinders. The spark's good. I've changed the coils. It does something, I think, on this cylinder where it's kind of blowing back when it fires. I feel like combustion is coming back through. That leads me to consider the valves. But there could also be a CDI issue going on here, so it's not sparking correctly at the right time. And the other thing there could be is float issues. So I'm now wondering if, so obviously I've had these carbs off, it really doesn't take long to get them off. But I'm wondering if the float heights are set correctly on both sides. So that's my next check. Now, I should be doing a compression check today. That is my aim. However, it's really hard to get to these ones because it's that thin wall. And I've got the right socket for it, so that's all okay. But I want to check the float heights because I didn't do that last time, and I think it's important. Let me check them. I'll have an idea of if anything's not right on them. Now, some of the things that can go wrong with wrong float heights is one of the cylinders could be filling up, one of the carbs could be filling up, not shutting off the fuel, and that fuel going back through the engine, if that makes sense. It just comes up, just goes through, comes up, comes through. And that kind of stalls and floods the engine. That makes sense, and that fluid ends up down in the some of it gets combusted and some of it ends up down in the oil. So that's one thing that could be happening. The other thing that could be happening is one side isn't letting any fuel through at all, and or just little bits through, so they're not firing correctly. There's not the same amounts of fuel going through on both sides. Now, the carb tuner would give you a bit of an idea if that was what's happening, and it kind of possibly was giving me that indication because it had that weird drop, didn't it? So it's real tough one, guys. If it's not carb float height related, and if it's not CDI spark related, it will be valves, something to do with the valves, possibly bent valves, possibly sticky valve. and that's something that would need looking at in the long run, which is something that can be done. It's not a huge issue. It's just I don't want to start taking the engine apart unless I'm sure the other bits have been done first. So today's video, ideally maybe tomorrow's, is to have these carbs off, put a tube to the fuel, check for float heights, see if they look out of place at all. I got a feeling they won't be. I got a feeling they will seem fine. Then if they are, we have to really consider whether buying another kind of £60 CDI is worth the attempt. No, if the carb floats are set, we have to do a compression test next. That's the plan. So it's quite hard to fully explain the float stuff to you, but I'm just going to let you watch me have a little look at what I'm looking at. Both floats are down under normal circumstances right now. That means both sides should blow air through. Completely normal. Now, both up should mean no sides let any air through. Great. Now we need to work out if they're set at appropriate height. So I'm going to keep this one up, air through, and then we're going to press and see when it kind of cuts off. So it cuts off quite quick, but that's not a huge issue. I'd say it cuts off a touch early, but I don't think that affects what's going on right now. Let's check the other side. So the truth is, they're fine. The float heights are absolutely fine. Yes, that one cuts off a touch earlier than I'd like, but that really isn't going to make any difference in regards to it's kind of running, because it's still much higher than the main here. So I think I'm going to adjust them both a touch more anyway to make sure they cut out a touch higher rather than a touch lower. So I'm going to give it a bit more room for a bit more fuel just in case, but I don't think that's the fix. Next step for me is check the compression. So this is carb and airbox back on. I'm going to go and grab a bit of fuel, chuck it in, and we'll see if it even fires up at all. I highly doubt that the float adjustment will change this. There is a chance that them float valves are wrong, but that's also unlikely. I think I've got them so that they are shutting off a bit later now. I don't think this is going to solve the problem. I think it's going to run just as badly once I've chucked some fuel in. Just for your reference, I haven't put the coolant lines on, because if it runs more normal, then I'd want to take it all off, put it all back in properly, secure it all kind of one last time. I know that's a bit annoying, but that's the reality, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to take these carbs off again soon. I just kind of nip them up. We don't need coolant at the moment because we're not going to be running this bike for longer than a minute or two at any point until it's smooth and appears to be running properly. Let me go and grab some fuel, and we'll chuck some fuel in, see if the battery's got enough juice to fire it up, and we'll know immediately if it seems any better. But it won't. We're not expecting it to be at this stage. Definitely compression test next, definitely. So there's plenty of fuel. I've sucked the fuel through. Let's just see what happens. I'm not expecting miracles. Tell, it almost seems a touch more responsive. There was that weird backspit. does still feel carb related to me. Quarter carb. Half carb. Full carb. Feels to me like it's a bit better, but not perfect. Both cylinders are fairly cold. Or very, very hot. I think it's carb related. It feels like now it's warming up that it seems early throttle is quite good. The first third is quite good. Half not so much. The first third's quite good. Full throttle's quite good once it picks up. Look how bouncy they are on idle. Yeah, I mean you can hear some back spitting and some popping, and so it's not overly comfortable, but that is the closest I've had it to running well, which is interesting. So makes me wonder if the carbs are the right way to go. Maybe I'll grab a rebuild set off Jake tomorrow anyway, and it's not gonna hurt. I believe he has 2 sets. Oh look, the airbox had popped off. Had it? Yeah, that's interesting. Let me try and nip that back down. So I'm going to give the bike a couple of minutes to cool down, and then we'll do the compression test. We'll just see for peace of mind what's going on inside the engine. I expect it to be okay. I expect them to be both kind of half decent and both within the same area, I think. I feel the more I work with this, I feel like it's carb related. I'm just not fully sure how. Okay guys, for your ease, this is the right bank, this is the right side. Throttle wide open. Wow. The sad part of that reading, 175. Sad part of that reading is the left side has no chance. Bloody hell, guys. That is a very healthy right bank. Hopefully the left bank can hold its own. Look at that, 175. Bloody hell. Very good. Right, let's swap over. Let's go left bank, turn the ignition off so we've got power. Good. One moment. Alright guys, left bank, so we want it to come up to here, 175. Throttle wide open. Right bank's got its spark plug back in, but not sparked or it will fire up. Please. That's great news, guys. We have a very healthy engine there, 175. It's a very healthy engine. It also shows me that the valves are okay at this stage. It's not exactly 175. The right bank was very slightly, it was probably 176. This is 174. You're absolutely fine to be out by 2. You'll be fine to be out by something like 10, I think, or something like 10% discrepancy. But anyway, we've got our proof there that the engine is very healthy, and that is very, very, very healthy, guys. You alright? That means this engine is very, very good. It's well looked after to have such high compression on both sides. Great, that's good news. That brings me back to the carbs. I know Jake has 2 full rebuild kits for me. I will pick them up later. Jake, I need them cheap, I need them at mates rates, and I need them on tick. So I'm going to grab them. I think tomorrow I will rebuild these carbs fully, and that's the next step to this one, because we've just checked our compression. We've checked, you know, the valves will be fine. I'm sure a stuck valve, a bent valve would show an issue on the compression test, guys. We've changed our coils. We could still have a CDI issue. We could be sparking at the wrong time. It's not that likely. I think the next step is to rebuild the carbs using the appropriate and original settings, and then I think we'll look at CDI if we still have similar kinds of issues, because we've done the majority of the work now. We know our timing's good, we know our valves are good, we know that all of that is good because we've just tested it. Here we go, guys. Here's the plan. I'm going to strip these down and we'll take the parts to Jake and get them switched over. That's it. That's the carb breakdown. That's it to its bare bones. There's nothing left in there. You can clean out the choke, but there's no need. It's working fine. Clean out through all of the jet ports. Give it a good old squirt through with brake cleaner or carb cleaner, whatever you've got. And I'm going to be swapping all of the jets with a new set from Jake. But I'm going to be double checking the floats because I'm not keen on them. I think we'll probably keep the springs. I doubt he'll have a new ones of them. Floats themselves I will change if needed. Basically, whatever Jake's got, I'm going to get it for this bike, and we're going to see if we can fix these carbs and save the bike.